Look closely at the solid objects surrounding you in this room, the routine conversations filling your days and the predictable rhythms of human survival. On the surface, everything appears entirely normal, but underneath the practical exterior of your daily routine, a quiet ache hums continuously in the background of your consciousness. It is a cosmic homesickness, a subtle feeling of being an outside observer looking in, watching humanity operate through an invisible pane of glass. You observe the density of this world, the endless pursuit of material accumulation, the casual conflicts, the rigid structures of society. And a steady voice in the very back of your mind simply states, "I do not belong here." You carry an exhausting emotional contradiction that you have never been able to logically explain to your peers. You hold a boundless, gentle love for the ultimate potential of humanity. Yet you find the actual daily energy of society so thoroughly draining that you frequently require long periods of absolute solitude just to physically and mentally recalibrate. You have sincerely tried to be practical. You have done your absolute best to adapt, to build a grounded life, and to care about the mundane things you were taught to care about by your family and your culture. Yet a hidden memory pulses just out of reach. It is a quiet, but unshakable knowing that you possess a specific monumental destiny, a deep sense that you were chosen to incarnate on this planet at this exact volatile moment in human history for a highly practical purpose, even if the specific details remain locked behind an impenetrable veil of amnesia. This feeling of being a temporary visitor in a strange, harsh land is not a psychological flaw, and it is not a medical defect. It is a direct symptom of your true cosmic origin. For your entire life, the rigid systems of this world have told you that your mind is merely a biological byproduct of your brain. They conditioned you to believe that your thoughts are just invisible, fleeting reactions bouncing around inside your skull, separate from the solid physical world outside your window. You were taught that reality is something that happens to you, and your only job is to react to it, manage it, and somehow survive it till the end. But this is the ultimate deception. It is the veil of amnesia strategically draped over your consciousness the very moment you entered a physical human body. In the late 20th century, a pragmatic, no-nonsense hypnotherapist named Dolores Cannon inadvertently uncovered the practical mechanics behind this grand deception. Dolores was not a mystic searching for esoteric enlightenment, nor was she a guru seeking followers. She was a practical naval wife raising a family, eventually working with ordinary people who came to her office seeking help with ordinary problems, smoking cessation, weight management, and chronic physical pain. To help them, she developed a highly specialized method called the quantum healing hypnosis technique. This technique was designed to entirely bypass the analytical chatter of the conscious mind and safely drop the subject into the somnambulistic state, the deepest possible level of hypnotic trance. When her subjects entered this profound state, their localized human personality completely stepped aside in its place. A vast intelligence consistently emerged, an entity that possessed all knowledge, which Dolores simply called the subconscious. Through thousands of separate, isolated regressions across all demographics, religions, and geographic backgrounds over 40 years, this subconscious intelligence began delivering the exact same synchronized message about the true nature of our reality. The subconscious revealed that Earth is a temporary school, a heavily structured learning environment bogged down by karmic cycles and incredibly dense frequencies, but more importantly, through thousands of ordinary clients, it revealed that this planetary school is currently undergoing a massive, unprecedented transition. A literal splitting of frequencies into two distinctly different dimensional realities. And the deciding factor of where you anchor yourself in this shift is not based on your societal status, your financial wealth, or your geographic location. It is determined by a practical, everyday mechanic that you are utilizing every single segment of your waking life, almost entirely by accident. The intelligence speaking through Dolores's subjects revealed that your thoughts are not just invisible reactions. They are literal, energetic architecture. You are actively, continuously constructing the structural grid of a new Earth with the frequencies of your own mind. Dolores initially thought she was just easing childhood trauma and helping everyday people live slightly more comfortable human lives. And what Dolores discovered next changed everything she believed about human life. Welcome to Awakening Archives. Take a slow, grounding breath, drop your shoulders, and allow the tension you've been carrying all day to quietly leave your physical body. You've found your way to this specific space today because your personal frequency naturally aligned with this information. And I want you to know that you are entirely safe here. This is not a channel for surface-level illusions, entertainment, or abstract New Age spirituality. We focus exclusively on the grounded, mechanical truths of the soul journey. This is a dedicated sanctuary for the wanderers, the gentle observers, and the energetic grid workers who are finally ready to remember why they volunteered for such a dense, challenging earthly assignment. If you've been noticing the acceleration of time, the strange, unexplained exhaustion in your physical body, and a quiet pull that something fundamental is shifting beneath the surface of reality, you are exactly where you belong. We are archiving the highest practical truths of the awakening mind, translating the foundational discoveries of pioneers like Dolores Cannon into everyday reality. Settle him quietly. Allow the resonance of these concepts to gently bypass your logical mind and speak directly to the cellular memory of your soul. Your awakening is unfolding, right on schedule. And the time we spend together today, we are going to gently deconstruct the artificial framework of the reality you have been taught to believe in since birth. We will explore exactly how the thoughts you are holding right now, in your home, at your workplace, as you go about your mundane daily routine, are the very practical tools constructing the new Earth that Dolores Cannon spent her entire career documenting. We're going to uncover the hidden truth behind your lifelong sense of deep alienation, your emotional sensitivity, and exactly why your specific energetic signature is quietly essential at this exact moment in human history. By the end of this video, you will experience a gentle but permanent shift in your perspective. You will no longer view your daily internal struggles, your racing mind, or your exhaustion as tragic psychological burdens. You will recognize them as advanced, practical spiritual tools that you purposely selected before you were born. The Earth is undergoing a massive vibrational split. Two realities are quietly diverging, and the dimensional Earth you anchor into depends entirely on the revelation we are about to explore. Allow yourself to stay until the very end, because your soul brought you here to finally remember the practical, cosmic nature of your mission. To deeply comprehend how your daily thoughts are actually shaping the new Earth, we must first look at the foundational spiritual framework that Dolores Cannon documented during her groundbreaking regression work. When Dolores began asking the subconscious why so many ordinary people were suddenly experiencing such intense internal confusion, deep physical exhaustion, and bizarre bodily symptoms, the answer she received from thousands of independent subjects was completely uniform. The Earth is shifting its vibration, For eons, Earth has operated as a dense, heavy school of learning. It is a planetary environment defined by duality, polarity, free will, and the repetitive wheel of karma. Souls from across the universe have historically incarnated here to learn the most challenging lessons in existence. Lessons of extreme limitation, physical pain, and severe emotional contrast. Because the veil of amnesia is so thick here, Earth is considered a master-level school. It is one of the most difficult places in the cosmos to incarnate. But the subconscious revealed something entirely unexpected about the nature of our planet. The Earth itself is a living, conscious entity, and she is currently graduating. The planet is deliberately moving out of the heavy, dense vibration of the old Earth, a paradigm characterized by fear, systemic control, global conflict, and endless karmic loops, and she is ascending into a much higher, lighter frequency. This is a completely new dimension that Dolores' subjects universally referred to as the New Earth. However, in the mid-20th century, a profound logistical problem arose. Humanity's collective vibration had dropped too low. According to Dolores' transcripts, when the atomic bombs were dropped during World War II, our cosmic protectors and watchers saw that Earth was on a direct collision course with total disaster. Humanity was suddenly capable of destroying the entire planet. But the benevolent extraterrestrial councils were bound by the universal law of non-interference. They simply could not intervene from the outside and stop human free will. But they found a brilliant, tactical loophole. They could not interfere from the outside, but they could absolutely influence the planet from the inside. Because the native souls living on Earth were too heavily caught up in the wheel of karma, repeating the same cycles of violence and retribution. They could not raise the planet's vibration on their own. So a subtle distress call went out across the universe, a call for pure souls, advanced beings who had never been trapped in the heavy karmic wheel of Earth, to voluntarily incarnate into physical human bodies. These are the volunteers. If these concepts resonate deeply in your chest, you are almost certainly one of them. You did not come here to lead massive rebellions, preach on street corners, or become a highly recognized public figure. Your cosmic mission was understated and beautifully practical. You came to simply be here. You came to inject your natural high vibrational energy directly into the dense grid of the planet just by living an ordinary life. But here is the catch, and it is the most crucial aspect of Dolores Cannon's findings. When these advanced souls, these gentle volunteers from perfectly peaceful realms, incarnated into physical bodies, they had to be subjected to the exact same universal rule as every native human on Earth, the rule of absolute amnesia. You were born completely forgetting who you are, where you came from, and why you volunteered. You were born directly into the density, voluntarily taking on the heavy programming of human society and the fear-based structures of the old Earth. Why? Because the only practical way to transform a dense planetary system is from the inside out. You cannot change a locked system unless you enter it, become a part of it, and slowly raise its frequency from within. Your daily thoughts are the literal structural bridge between the old Earth and the new Earth. Through her regressions, the subconscious made it explicitly clear that the universe is entirely mental. Everything in existence is composed of energy, and its physical shape and form are determined solely by frequency and vibration. Thought is not a meaningless byproduct of a biological brain. Rather, your physical brain is a biological receiver and transmitter of thought. Every single time you hold a conscious or subconscious thought, you are generating a measurable electromagnetic frequency that literally alters the environment around you. In the old Earth paradigm, manifestation was incredibly slow. The energy was so thick and heavy that you could hold fearful or negative thoughts for years before they finally crystallized into your physical reality. But the great shift is fundamentally changing the physics of our world. The veil is thinning rapidly. The temporal gap between what you think and what you physically experience is rapidly collapsing. This means your mind is no longer just a private space for idle daydreams and passing worries. It is an active, continuous construction site. When you allow your mind to dwell in fear, judgment, anger, or victimhood, you are energetically anchoring yourself to the fading timeline of the old earth. You are practically feeding the old paradigm. But when you placidly take control of your mental faculties, when you gently choose neutrality, compassion, and quiet observation over immediate emotional reaction, you are literally generating the frequency of the new earth. You are acting as a biological tuning fork, quietly stabilizing the chaotic energies in your immediate environment. The new earth is not a physical place you travel to. It is a vibrational frequency that you align with, and your thoughts are the practical steering wheel. So, how do you recognize if you are actually one of these cosmic volunteers? How do you gently confirm that your daily practical thoughts are a vital part of this massive architectural undertaking? You simply look at your identity, your personal history, and the deep emotional patterns that have quietly haunted your existence since childhood. If you're watching this, you have likely felt an unshakable sense of feeling completely different your entire life. You are the gentle observer who looks at the fundamental systems of this world, the monotonous daily grind, the intense competition, the superficial interactions that define modern society, and feels a quiet, almost physical inability to relate to them. It simply makes no sense to your soul. You cannot comprehend why humans treat each other with such harshness. Through her extensive regressions, Dolores Cannon identified 3 waves of volunteers, and understanding which wave you naturally belong to is immensely practical for managing your daily energy and finding deep peace in your earthly mission. The first wave of volunteers began incarnating in the late 1940s and early 1950s, immediately following the dropping of the atomic bombs. The exact practical event triggered the universe's distress call. If you are a first waver, Dolores noted that you have had a tremendously difficult, painful time adjusting to this planet. You felt like an early pioneer hacking through a suffocating, dense jungle. First wavers often struggle with chronic depression, severe anxiety, and a constant burning desire to simply go home, even though they consciously have no idea where home actually is. Because they came directly from source or highly advanced peaceful dimensions, they are utterly appalled by violence. Even watching the evening news or scrolling through conflict on the internet can physically and emotionally paralyze them. In Dolores's findings, first wavers often harbor deep suicidal ideations, not because they hate their human lives, but simply because the contrast of Earth's density is so agonizing. They just want to escape back to the peace they subconsciously remember. They absorb the heaviest density to bravely pave the way for the others. The second wave came late, roughly in the late 1960s through the 1980s, and they operate in a beautifully different manner. If you belong to the second wave, you are a gentle generator of energy. Second wavers are often perfectly content, living a quiet, unassuming life, deliberately avoiding the spotlight and working quietly behind the scenes. And her regressions, they were described as energetic antennas, beacons, and channels of energy. Your primary cosmic job isn't to do anything grandiose. Your job is practically to simply be. To walk through the aisles of a crowded shopping mall, to sit quietly in an office, to exist in a mundane workplace while subconsciously broadcasting the frequency of peace. The second wave creates almost no calm. But because you are human, energetic sponge, clouds and heavy emotions utterly exhaust you. You require immense, non-negotiable amounts of solitude to cleanse your energy field. You require immense, non-negotiable amounts of solitude to cleanse your energy field. People are naturally drawn to your light, Total strangers will calmly confess their deepest to you in the grocery store checkout line. Because your gentle frequency feels like a safe harbor in a chaotic world. The third wave are the new children, many of whom began arriving in the late 1980s, 1990s and into today. These children came in with their DNA already upgraded and altered to adjust to the new vibrations and frequencies. They possess an incredible amount of knowledge on an unconscious level. They inherently refuse to conform to the old, broken systems of the past because they simply do not vibrate at that dense frequency. They are the system busters, often misdiagnosed by society, but they are here to build the new structures once the old ones collapse. Whichever wave you naturally resonate with, the internal emotional signs are practically identical across the board. Storm hypersensitivity, a quiet feeling of carrying a heavy, invisible burden. A long history of feeling deeply misunderstood by your biological family, as if you were dropped into the wrong bloodline. The emotional pattern of inexplicable loneliness, even when you are deeply loved by a partner or a group of friends. You have felt this your whole life. This recognition is absolutely critical because it completely recontextualizes your perceived weaknesses. Your hypersensitivity is not a psychological disorder, it's highly calibrated, advanced energetic equipment. You are sensitive because you must be able to detect subtle shifts in planetary frequency. You are lonely because your soul distinctly remembers the absolute unity, profound peace and telepathic connection of source, and the clumsy, dense communication of human words feels incredibly isolating by comparison. But because you have lived under the veil of amnesia, your unmanaged thoughts can sometimes betray you. You let the old earth programming tell you that you are broken, that you need to be fixed, that you just need to toughen up and be practical like everyone else. When you believe these thoughts, you inadvertently lower your frequency to match the old earth. Recognizing yourself as a volunteer is the very first practical step in taking back the steering wheel of your consciousness. Your thoughts must be treated with absolute care because you are a primary frequency holder. Your mental discipline and your ability to choose peace are the very foundations of the new earth grid. We are no longer quietly approaching the great shift. We are entirely inside of it. The escalation is happening right now. The dimensional timelines are actively splitting, and the importance of your stabilized presence here has never been more critically apparent. If you pay close attention to the practical reality of your daily life, you can physically feel the acceleration. Time is noticeably speeding up. A week feels like a single day. A month feels like a week. The physical, institutional systems of the old earth, the financial sectors, the traditional medical models, the rigid political structures are buckling heavily under the immense pressure of the rising frequency. They are visibly crumbling before our eyes because they were originally built on the dense vibrations of control, greed, and at present, because heavy frequencies simply cannot sustain themselves in the lighter, love-based matrix of the new earth. They literally cannot exist in the higher dimensions. This is exactly why now matters more than anything in your soul's vast journey. We are navigating the exact center of the transition. Dolores Cannon's regressions warned us of this exact tumultuous time period. The subconscious stated clearly that the earth would appear chaotic, that intense confusion and negativity would temporarily rise to the surface to be cleared. You must understand this from a place of profound peace. This chaos is not a sign of destruction, it's simply the friction of the dimensional split. It is the dust being aggressively kicked up as the old earth shakes itself apart to make way for a new paradigm of harmony. This collective awakening is creating massive existential tension across the globe, and as a volunteer you can likely feel it in your physical body. The ringing in your ears, the sudden waves of unexplained exhaustion, the bizarre and interrupted sleep patterns, waking up in the quiet hours of the night for no logical reason. These are not random biological ailments. In Dolores's work, it is repeatedly explained that these are the practical, physical symptoms of your nervous system actively upgrading. Your physical body and your cellular DNA are adjusting to hold more light, comfortably process much higher frequencies. Like we're bathing the planet, your body is mutating to survive the dimensional shift. With this intense escalation comes a quiet, profound urgency regarding your soul mission. You are being asked to definitively choose where you place your mental focus. The universe is gently nudging you to step off the fence between the new earth and the old. The consequences of ignoring this inner calling, of letting the external chaos of the world dictate your internal thoughts, are simply a continuation of unnecessary, agonizing heaviness. If you allow the constant fear-mongering of the media, the collective panic of society, or the mundane grievances of daily life to command your attention, you will practically anchor yourself into the dense experience of the old Earth timeline. You will feel the systemic collapse as a brutal personal burden. Your reality will feel heavier, more confusing, and deeply exhausting, because you will be actively fighting against the natural upward current of the planet's evolution. Dolores Cannon repeatedly warned that humans literally create the very things they fear. Because the universe does not judge the thought, it simply manifests the frequency of it. Your mission urgency is not about aggressively saving the world, forcefully waking other people up who are not ready, or fighting a righteous war against the dark. Is about the quiet, unwavering, disciplined mastery of your own mind. When everything outside of you is wrapped in panic and conflict, your cosmic job is to simply hold the frequency of peace, to become silent, immovable calm in the center of the storm. The accelerating energy of this shift will naturally amplify whatever frequency you choose to hold. You are the architect. The blueprint of your reality is manifesting faster than ever before. Reclaiming your mental focus is not a demanding chore. It is a beautiful return to your natural state of sovereignty. The great shift does not require your panic or your anxiety. It simply requests your peaceful, practical participation in the present moment. You have quietly navigated the crippling loneliness. You have bravely survived the heavy density of this world. You are finally realizing that your daily thoughts are the literal, practical building blocks of the new Earth grid, and that your presence here is a highly calculated, loving intervention to save a struggling planet. And yet, there is still something deep rooting beneath all of this. Hidden within Dolores Cannon's regression transcripts is a truth so personal, so specific to your own suffering that it will not land as a concept, it will land as a memory. The pain you have carried was not a random accident, it was certainly not a karmic punishment. It was something far more intentional and far more loving than that. What you are about to understand will not just reframe your past, it will make you see every wound you've ever carried is the most precise, deliberate act of courage your soul has ever performed. To truly understand how your thoughts practically shape the new Earth, we must finally reinterpret the suffering that has defined so much of your human experience. We must look at the deepest, most painful wounds you have carried since childhood and illuminate them with the gentle, profound light of truth from the subconscious. When you look back at the timeline of your life, you undoubtedly see heartbreak. You see the childhood where you felt profoundly misunderstood, overlooked, or perhaps deeply, irreparably hurt by the very people supposed to protect you. You see the heavy, complex relationships you somehow inexplicably attracted into your sphere, the financial struggles, the moments of profound betrayal, and the agonizing times you felt entirely abandoned by God or the universe, from the limited perspective of the human ego. And from the dense, practical viewpoint of the old earth, this looks exactly like victimhood. It feels as though you were intensely unlucky or that you were somehow failing miserably at the normal, everyday game of human life. It feels deeply, profoundly unfair that you, a soul who naturally carries so much love and desires so much peace, had to endure such heavy, suffocating pain. But the subconscious, speaking gently through thousands of Dolores Cannon subjects in the deepest states of trance, revealed a truth so immense, so incredibly profound that it dissolved the illusions of the human ego instantly. You purposely chose it. Before you ever incarnated into this specific physical body, from the absolute safety, perfect harmony, and unconditional love of Source, you meticulously designed the blueprint of your earthly life, and because you are an advanced volunteer, because you specifically came here to help anchor the higher frequencies of the new earth, you deliberately chose some of the most difficult, complex, and heavy circumstances possible on this planet. Why would a peaceful, pure being of light intentionally choose to experience human suffering? Because of highly practical cosmic energetic mechanics. The native souls of Earth were trapped. They were endlessly repeating the same cycles of abuse, trauma, and fear, unable to generate enough light to shift the planet. As a volunteer, you came in with zero Earth karma. You were a clean slate of high-frequency energy, but you cannot transmute planetary density by simply floating comfortably above it. You cannot break the deeply ingrained generational curses and the dense traumas of the old earth unless you incarnate directly into the specific bloodline, lineage exact. You had to absorb it deeply into your own physical and emotional body. You took on the heavy, toxic patterns of your human family and your society, so you could uniquely use your advanced spiritual machinery to gently process it, heal it, and release it forever. You acted as a cosmic water filter, taking in the muddy, toxic energy of the old earth, running it through your own breaking heart and exhaling clear, pure light back into the grid. Your trauma was never a punishment from a wrathful universe. It was a deliberately chosen catalyst. It was the necessary energetic friction required to crack your human ego open and eventually trigger your awakening. If your life had been entirely easy, flawlessly comfortable, and seamlessly accepted by mainstream society, you would have stayed asleep. You would have been entirely hypnotized by the mundane, comfortable illusion of physical reality, and you would have forgotten to do the energetic work you came here to do. The pain you gravely endured was the practical alarm clock you strategically set for yourself before you ever passed through the veil of amnesia. And right now, as you listen to these words, the alarm is quietly, finally ringing. The ultimate emotional catharsis comes when you realize on a deep cellular level that every single tear you have ever shed, every long night of agonizing loneliness, every time you felt utterly broken and defeated was deeply, beautifully purposeful. It was your advanced training ground. You were bravely learning the extreme contrast of dark and light, so you would possess the deep, unwavering empathy and the unshakable resilience required to help build a new paradigm. You had to intimately know the absolute depths of the old world so you could safely and permanently dismantle it within yourself. So, how do your thoughts actually build this new earth? How does this massive cosmic concept work in quiet, practical, daily reality? It happens strictly in the micro moments. The new earth is not born from mass political treaties. Global M. Dolores Cannon wrote, quoting the biblical text, "I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away." This passing away happens right there in your living room. It happens when you are triggered by a painful memory of betrayal, and instead of spiraling into victimhood, anger, or resentment, you take a slow, deep breath. You quietly observe the heavy thought, and you actively, practically choose peace in that exact fraction of a second. You completely sever a heavy karmic cord that has bound humanity to the wheel of suffering for millennia. You practically shift the electromagnetic frequency of your own heart center, which then broadcasts a silent, massive field of coherence into the environment around you. It happens when you wake up in the morning, and instead of immediately reaching for your phone to consume the manufactured fear and panic of the old earth, you sit in absolute silence. You gently claim your mental sovereignty. You refuse to let outside forces dictate your internal vibration. You visualize pure light anchoring into your physical body and traveling down into the core of the planet. By doing this highly practical, simple exercise, you are literally pinning the high-frequency grid to the physical plane. Your thoughts are the quiet architectural blueprint, and your gentle emotions are the magnetic force that pulls that blueprint into physical manifestation. When Dolores Cannon asked the subconscious what humanity should be doing right now to navigate the great shift gracefully, the answer was brilliant in its absolute simplicity. Let go of fear. Fear is the dense glue that holds the old earth together. Fear is the ultimate exhausting illusion. When you radically accept that you are an immortal, infinite being merely playing a temporary, critical role in a cosmic clay, the fear naturally dissolves. You step into a permanent state of gentle, transcendent observation. You watch the structures of the old earth dismantle themselves on the world's stage without attaching your precious energy to the drama. Stop fighting the darkness, because fighting only feeds it more energy, and you simply focus on turning on your own internal light. You aren't just surviving this planetary shift, you are a You are the gentle architect. The new earth is being formed right now, cell by cell, thought by conscious thought, entirely through your peaceful awareness. The deep relief, the profound validation, and the beautiful clearing grief you feel expanding in your chest right now. Simply your soul remembering the absolute truth. The heavy lifting of your earthly cycle is over. The suffering served its ultimate magnificence. It is time to step gently into your immense power. Clear the worry from your mind. Fully create the divine dream your reality. You came here to build. The Great Awakening is not a journey you are meant to take in total isolation. It is a shared, deeply resonant frequency. And right now, as you quietly absorb these foundational truths, your energy is actively intermingling with thousands of other cosmic volunteers who are feeling these exact same shifts across the globe. I invite you to ground this immense energy right now. Stake your gentle claim in the physical world by sharing your unique energetic signature with us in the space below. Tell me this. When you look at Dolores Cannon's 3 waves of volunteers, which one landed in your chest is yours? And what single moment in your life finally makes complete sense now because of it? Leave your energetic footprint in the comments below. When you physically write your truth, you practically anchor it into reality, and you beautifully provide a glowing beacon of hope for another volunteer who might be reading this right now, feeling completely alone, desperate for tangible proof that they are deeply understood. This is a profound invitation to finally step out of the quiet shadows and into the safe, a deeply compassionate community. You have been searching for your entire life. Engage with one another, gently witness each other's journeys with love. This channel is a sacred gathering space for the true peaceful architects of the new earth, and your unique voice is a desperately needed frequency here. Take one more slow, deeply grounding breath. Hold it for a quiet moment, and as you gently exhale, physically release any lingering, dense programming that no longer serves your peaceful mission. Let the accumulated tension drain completely from your jaw, your neck, and your tired shoulders. Let it simply fall away. You have already done the hardest work. You have successfully survived the heavy amnesia of birth. You have gracefully navigated the blinding density of the old Earth matrix, and you have finally, beautifully remembered exactly why you are here. There is no more need for endless striving, for exhausting panic, or for deep-seated fear. Your practical job now is remarkably simple, infinitely profound. You only need to gently monitor your mind, choose your daily thoughts with quiet precision, and hold your high frequency incredibly steady as the entire world transforms rapidly around you. You're exactly where you are supposed to be, the exact right time, doing exactly what you were meticulously designed to do. The universe observes your quiet progress with profound awe and unconditional love. Every single time you choose peace over reaction, you rewrite the practical destiny of this planet. The power has always resided firmly within you, lying dormant, patiently waiting for this precise moment to activate. The dense illusions of the old Earth are rapidly fading into a distant, ancient memory, and the breathtaking reality of the new Earth is quietly waiting on your very next thought. What beautiful reality will you choose to build with your mind today? Awaken, architect. Your gentle chef has just begun.